Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Cruise News. And in today's episode, a couple cruisers get left behind on the pier. Royal Caribbean clarifies whether or not pizza is going to now be an upcharge. And of course, because of the Hurricane Hillary, some cruise changes have been made. All of those stories are in today's episode of Cruise News. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel and welcome to Cruise News. I've got 3 cruise news stories to go over, so let's go ahead and get right on into these stories. All right, our first news story comes from Royal Caribbean. And if you saw any of cruise newsing, in the past week or so, there's been a huge outrage or, brouhaha, if you will, about Royal Caribbean and whether or not they were going to start charging for pizza on board. Usually it's the Sorrento's pizza. Obviously, if you've never been on a cruise before, the pizza is included. You don't have to pay any extra for the pizza. And apparently what had happened is on a cruise that concluded not too long ago, Royal likes to send out surveys, basically asking questions about different things. And one of the questions they posed is whether you would be opposed to having a small upcharge for pizza instead of it being free. Well, this news got out and all hell broke loose, basically. So the CEO of Royal Caribbean came out. His name is Michael Bailey, and he clarified that there is the pizza will remain free. There is not going to be any kind of upcharge for you to get any pizza, so you can still go to Sorrento's, eat all the pizza you want, gorge yourself, whatever you want to do. There will not be an upcharge, at least at this time, for any of the pizza. So fear not if you're going on Royal Caribbean anytime soon. The pizza is still free. All right, our next news story actually comes from MSC Cruises. There was a video out there circulating the other day, kind of went viral a little bit, and it shows the ever-dreaded pier runners. That's right, the pier runners, the people running to catch the ship at the last minute. Well, apparently 2 people were pier runners and didn't quite make it. This actually took place in, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing this right, Bari, Italy, on a B-A-R-I, Bari, Italy. And this was on the MSC Splendida. Apparently there was a couple that was left behind, and there's a video of it, and the husband and wife were basically just pleading for the captain to turn the ship around, to come back, said he could do it if he wanted to, and well, obviously the captain did not turn the ship around, and those people unfortunately had to make other arrangements. Now, I'm not one of those people, who just gets the sheer delight in watching the misery of some other cruisers. I for the life of me, I never understand this. I mean, I get it. Okay, they should have planned better ahead. We've all done things we should have done. We've all, I should have done this. I should have planned better for that. But man, there are just some people out there that just, utterly just love to watch the people running and missing the ship. I'm not one of those people. I feel bad for them. Whether or not, even if they were stupid and didn't plan ahead properly, I don't just gloat at some people, total strangers, complete misfortune. That's got to be just the worst situation ever. But just keep in mind, if you're going on a ship and you're not doing a ship excursion, you had best be there on time, because they will not turn around. It's not just as simple as, put that puppy in reverse and let's get back to the, it isn't a car. You don't just clock it in reverse. All right, let's go pick up somebody. You got to take into account they've got to go back. Ships are on these ports for certain amounts of time. They have to pay for these ports. If they're there longer, it can cost the ship money, and their delayed could then have a kind of a domino effect on other ships that might be leaving, not necessarily just cruise ships. And these are ports. There's other things going on besides cruising, so it's not just as simple as just wheel that sucker in reverse, let's go get them kind of deal. So just keep that in mind, that if you're on the cruise ship, you'd give myself at least, me personally, I give myself at least 45 minutes. I try to be back 45 minutes at the latest from when that cruise is going to leave. I'm not going to be one of those people, we got 10 minutes, that's cool, let's go. No, you always want to give yourself plenty of time, because you never know what's going to happen unless you happen to be on a ship excursion. And then in that case, if you're on a excursion you paid for through the ship and it's late, they will wait for you. Anything else, you're SOL. All right, unless you've been living under a rock or just never watched the news these days, you probably have heard that Hurricane Hillary is making its way to the southern part of California. I wanted to say Florida. Just you think hurricane, you think Florida. Southern part of California. Hurricane Hillary is on its way there, and it has obviously made some changes to a couple cruises. The first one is going to be the Emerald Princess. Emerald Princess was going to make a stop in Ensenada, Mexico. It's actually going to be, from when I'm posting this, I believe they're supposed to go today, which is Sunday. They were supposed to make a stop in Ensenada, but that was in fact canceled. Instead, the ship is actually headed, it should be there now, headed to Los Angeles a day early. It was supposed to, I believe, arrive on Monday. It's going to arrive on Sunday. The thing is, it will arrive a day early. You technically, if the people that are on the ship don't have to get off. If when the ship arrives the day early in LA, you can get off if you happen to be on there. You can get off the ship and go home or wherever you were going to go. Or you can just stay on board the ship as it sits in the port, enjoy some of the buffets, whatever activities they have on board, and then just disembark Monday, the next day, as you normally would have. So at least they give you kind of the option, hey, if you're tired of this, you want to get off, go ahead. If not, stay on board. We've got some cool stuff going on. Enjoy the food. You paid for it. Why not? And then just, get off on the next day. So that was the Emerald Princess that was, diverted a little bit because of the hurricane. And then also Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas has a slight change. They were also going to be in Ensenada. They did still go to Ensenada, but it was a little bit earlier. They were supposed to go on Sunday, which, like I said, is today. From if you watch this when I dropped this video, it was today. They actually went there late last night. They went at 7 p.m. last night, stayed there from 7 p.m. to midnight. Obviously, probably not going to get to do too much from 7 p.m. to midnight, especially if you had any real excursion plans going on. But at least I guess you get to visit the port and maybe, look around, do whatnot. But yeah, they did visit that port early, so they were still able to go. But they then, had to leave, and they're not going to be there Sunday because of the storm coming. Honestly, I don't know how I'd feel about that. It's like if you miss the port, you had all, you're going to go to Ensenada, you're going to be there all day, you missed the port, or you had all these plans. If you missed the port, like the Emerald Princess did, you're going to get your port fees probably back because you never showed up, you didn't go, so they will usually refund your port fees. Well, if you're on Royal, you technically still showed up in Ensenada, even though it was in the late at night. You probably don't really get to do much. Still got to pay those port fees. So I don't I don't know if I really had wanted to go just late at night, because honestly, how much can you do except look around at some shops or something like that? I don't know. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, would you have wanted to go to Ensenada from 7 at night until midnight, or would you have just skipped it and saved the hundreds, or probably not $100, but 50 to 75, whatever it is for the port fees to go to Ensenada? Would you rather just save that since you really don't get to do much on there? Leave me a comment down below on that. But yeah, obviously there's a couple cruise changes. The hurricane is coming to LA. So hopefully, if you're in the LA area, hopefully you've got prepared. Those can kind of be a pain, especially if you're not as used to them as we are down here in Florida. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for another episode of Cruise News. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's news stories. And as always, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.